Okay. So here we go. Let's start on all fours, and we can continue with that same breath, doing some cats and cows. So starting with the breath, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, more or less. And then as you're ready, go ahead, inhale, lift the chest, lift the sit bones. And exhale, push the floor away with your hands as you round through the spine. You can take 3 or 4 or more of those. And then I'll say, especially since a couple of you are new to my class, that really welcome for you to do whatever you want to do. So I have a lot of what I think are good suggestions for most people, but that doesn't mean it's exactly right for you. So, feel free to modify. And if you ever need a suggestion, then you can just pipe up and let me know. Okay. So from these cats and cows, let's have a little bit of side bending. So we'll just turn and look at one hip. The opposite elbow might bend a bit, and then turn, look at the other hip. We'll move back and forth a few times. All right, and then come back through center, come to a neutral spine. Feel that your shoulders are away from your ears. You're looking forward maybe 2 to 3 feet. Then let's stretch the right leg back. You can stay here, or reaching up through the inner thigh, lift the leg. Draw the belly back towards the spine so that you're feeling nice and stable. Take a big inhalation. Stay here, or if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, then you'll stretch the left fingertips out in front as well. Keep reaching out through that back heel. Keep drawing the belly a little bit back towards the spine. Couple more breaths. Inhale, stay here, or just a couple times we can cross the elbow over towards the knee, and then inhale, come up. Exhale, elbow towards knee, go nice and slow, round the spine. Just a couple more. All right. And then let's come back through center. So again, feeling a neutral spine, which doesn't mean straight. You might feel a little bit that you have a low back curve and a little bit looking forward. So also there's a curve there in the neck. And then once you feel that sort of dignified, strong, here we are, nice and steady, then stretch the left heel back, left foot back, starting with the ball of the foot on the floor. And this is where I tend to start kind of like hanging out. And then I get very, just hanging out in the joints. My spine is not having that strength and stability. So I'll draw my belly back towards my spine, get nice and strong again. And then if you like, you can lift the left heel up. Keep reaching strongly out through the heel. I'm lifting what feels like slightly more through the inner thigh than the outer thigh, just to keep everything nice, even, balanced. With the belly continuing to draw up, if you like, stretch the right fingertips. Nice. I love these poses that are sort of, they look simple, but they're hard. This is one of them. Take a couple more breaths. You could stay here. This is a good place to stay, kind of like plank, nice and challenging. Or if you like, we'll round the spine again. So inhale here long. Exhale, round and twist a bit, elbow to knee. I'm not going to do too many, maybe 3 or 4 in total. Follow your own breath. The inhale opens us up. And the exhale curls it all in. Okay. I think that's about enough. We'll come back to all fours, either 1 or 2 more rounds of cat-cow, or take a little rest in child's pose. Whatever feels better to you. And then we're going to meet up in kneeling. So you can have your toes tucked behind you if you like, or flat on the ground. Whatever feels more stable is what matters to me now. And then go ahead and stretch your right leg out. You can have your hands on your hips to start. And then you'll notice right now I have the toes pointed forward. Continually, you might know, because I've been doing this for several classes, kind of looking at the internal and external rotation in the hip. So I'm just wanting us to notice that it's a little rotated inward here. Take a breath, feel that. I think it feels nice. We got a nice stretch through the inner thigh probably. And then go ahead and roll the thigh up. So now the toes are pointing up and the leg is externally rotated. And then inhale both arms up. We're going to bend the left elbow, grab hold with the right hand, inhale, get long through the left side, and then exhale, tip over towards the straight leg. Take a couple of breaths. And then you can release the elbow, bring the fingertips to the shin, and the other hand straight up. Look up if you like. Good. And then inhale, come back. And exhale, let's come back to kneeling. Switch sides. So starting with the left foot, toes pointing forward, the hip and thigh, the thighs rotated inward a little bit. So take a couple of breaths here, just feel how that is, notice it. And then we're going to roll the thigh out so the toes are pointing straight up. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, bend, this time the right elbow, grab hold, lift the elbow up so that you're getting length through the sides of the ribs, and then bend over towards your straight leg. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then release the elbows, straighten the arms. Maybe look up. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Back to all fours, hands down, tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. You might like to bend the knees, pedal out the feet, what have you. All the things that feel good for your first downward facing dog. Okay. Take your left foot and bring it in towards the center of the mat. And then from the heel, lift the right leg straight up. Turn the thigh out just like we did before. So now the hips are open. Stay here or bend the right knee and let the foot get heavy. And you might feel your side body come open a little bit more. Inhale, level the hips out again, reach out through the heel. Exhale, bring the foot down. And now the right foot's in towards the midline of it. Inhale, the left leg comes up, reaching up through the heel. And then turn the hip out. So now the left hip is stacking over the right. If you like, you can bend the knee. And as you come in almost to a little bit of a back bend with that twist, you might feel a deeper stretch on the interior of the core. The heavier the foot is, it's like, let it be like a weight, it just drags you down. Yes, that opposite hand might get light. I'm totally fine with that. All right, inhale, level the hips, reach out again through the heel. Exhale, just back to downward facing dog. Take a breath or two, straighten out your feet. And then we'll take a walk towards the top of the mat and end up in a standing forward fold Uttanasana. Here, I recommend elbows into elbow crease, fingertips into elbow creases. Head heavy like a weight. That's it. And then hands to outer hips. Draw your elbows towards each other. Press firmly through your feet as you inhale and come all the way up to stand. Nice. Exhale, release the arms, finding Tadasana. Let's pause here for a moment and Take your gaze to the horizon. Soften the eyes so you take in the periphery. More of a gaze of receiving instead of projecting outward. It's like the difference between responding to what's happening, in other words, bringing it in, pausing, and reacting, which is more of an outward, externally focused gaze with the eyes, softening, widening, relaxing. And then if it's helpful to feel the interior spaces of your body, if you close your eyes and see if you can just feel how to make your body as strong and steady as possible. So the first thing that you might notice is, where in your foot are you holding the weight of your body? If you are pitched forward, so you feel the weight of your body over the balls of your feet, then bring the weight back a bit more into the heels. Occupy the back of your body. Again, coming back to this feeling of receiving. Notice that your hips then are more or less over your heels when you do that, and the shoulders over the hips. The chest is open. The head is also, if possible, coming towards the back of the body. So feel the back of your skull. Feel an evenness through the front of the body and the back of the body. So that in this even stance, you might begin to feel a sense of dignity in the way that you stand. In other words, firm, solid, steady, but also at ease, flexible, taking in, non-reactive. Okay, and then when you're ready, go ahead, let your eyes open, and we'll do a few sun salutations. So inhale, here in Tadasana. Exhale, bring your hands together at the center of your heart. Inhale, reach and stretch the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Good. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step your right foot back into a lunge and let the knee come down. Take your hands to your thigh. We'll do the first round a little slow. We're going to get into the hips a bit. Well, we're going to get into the hips a lot by the end of class. I hope you feel that. So with this left leg forward, bring your hands inside of the foot and then walk the left foot out to the left. Turn your leg out so the toes are pointed out, knee is pointed out. And then if you have blocks, you might come to your elbows to blocks, or you might walk your hands out and come elbows all the way to the floor. Or for many folks, staying upright is exactly the right spot. So find a comfortable place for you, working in the zone of not too much, not too little. Take a couple more deep breaths. All right. And then take your time and walk your right hand in, maybe just a hand's distance towards the midline of your mat. And we're going to roll open to the left. You can start with your left hand in the left inner thigh. Roll both shoulders back. And then a little bit of an isometric movement. So not much is going to happen, but very gently take your hand and draw it towards your knee. As you do that, you might feel your torso twist open. And then once you have that sweet spot, stretch the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Take a couple of deep breaths. Good. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hand down. Walk the left foot back into its lane. And then step back, plank. We are going to come all the way to the ground and do a little bit more, I hate to say core work. It sounds so terrible. So a little bit of breath, interacting breath and movement that happen to be strengthening the core, but more about the breath. So starting in Sphinx with elbows under shoulders, roll your shoulders back, have your fingers spread really wide. And then there's also this isometric movement here of dragging a bit back with your forearms to lift your chest through your upper arms, and the gaze goes forward. As much as you can, stay with that, especially the forearms pressing down. And then inhale. Exhale, draw the belly back towards the spine, lift the ribs, lift the belly, lift the hips. Sphinx roll-ups. And then as you inhale, we're going to come back down, thighs, hips, belly. Finish the inhalation with your Sphinx pose, shoulders out of the ears, looking forward. Continue as you exhale. The belly comes back towards the spine. A lot of engagement there. And then the hips lift, the thighs lift, look forward. Inhale slowly, thighs roll down, hips roll down, belly rolls down, and then be in Sphinx pose, draw the shoulders out of the ears, lift the chest. Continue in your own time. As you exhale really strongly, the belly pulls back to the spine, lifts off the floor, hips lift, thighs lift, push your forearms in. And then as you inhale, reverse it. Finish your inhalation with the Sphinx. I'll be quiet. Please do a couple more. If it doesn't feel hard, draw your belly back towards your spine even more. But most people are probably, it feels hard. The other thing is you could also go all the way into a forearm plank if you really wanted a big challenge. But honestly, I feel like these are pretty darn challenging for most people. Last one. And then we'll end up in Sphinx pose. Roll the shoulders back. Let's really be here. So press down through the tops of the feet, the base of the pelvis, roll the shoulders out of the ears. And then that same movement, not a lot of movement, isometric action of drawing the forearms towards your body to lift the chest in between your upper arms, gaze forward. And then same thing here. Can you find the sense of dignity in the pose? So strong, steady, really supported, not collapsed, really ready for whatever's happening. And at the same time, at ease, responsive, relaxed, both simultaneously. Nice, good. Last big inhale. Exhale, slide the hands back, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Take your time. We'll have 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, reach your right heel up and back. Exhale, step it forward, take your time, and the left knee is coming down. We're going to do the same thing that we did on the other side. So starting with the hands on the thigh, let the hips drop, take a breath or so. And then we'll let the right foot go out to the right. Turn the thighs out so the toes are now pointed out and the hip is starting to open. Take your hands on the inside. And then like on the other side, there's lots of places you could go. You can stay upright or to your forearms or use blocks. Enjoy a couple of more breaths before we move on. Okay, and then we'll do that twist. So have your left hand come a little bit in towards the midline, probably not center, but underneath your shoulder is what I'm hoping for. And then turn open, bring your right hand to your right inner thigh. And then a little, again, at that isometric movement, we're gonna sort of drag the thigh flesh towards the knee as we roll the chest open. You can adjust your hand if need be. Stay here, or if you like, reach the fingertips towards the ceiling. Nice. Good. Last inhale. Exhale, walk the foot in, back into its lane. Inhale, tuck the back toes. Exhale, step forward, top of the mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the arms, reach up and overhead. Exhale, release the arms. And now let's just flow for a few sun salutations. So inhale, be here in Tadasana. Exhale, hands together, center of the heart. Inhale, arms reach up, stretch overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, left foot steps back, knee down. Inhale, fingertips up, lift the chest. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, step to plank. And then lots of options. If you do chaturanga, you do that, or stay in plank, or with or without knees, come all the way to the ground. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, reach the left heel up and back. Exhale, step it forward, take your time. Right knee down. Inhale, find your lunge. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, straighten the back leg. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, bow again. Inhale, press down through the feet, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, release the arms. Continuing, inhale, be here in Tadasana. Exhale, hands together, center of the heart, Anjali Mudra, a little bit of a bow. Inhale, reach and stretch up and overhead. Exhale as you bow forward all the way over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot back. This time you might want to keep the knee up. Inhale, come into a high lunge. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, step to plank, all the way, half the way, with or without knees, whatever you like. And then we'll inhale for a back bend, cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog for 3 breaths again. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, reach the right leg up and back. Exhale, step it forward, back knee up or down as you like. Inhale, fingertips up, lift the chest. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the arms, reach up and overhead. Exhale, relax the arms. Last one. Inhale, be here. Exhale, hands together, center of the heart. Inhale, fingertips reach up, lift the chest. Exhale, bow all the way forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, left foot back into the lunge, knee up or down. Inhale, fingertips reach up, lift the chest. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, step to plank. Same thing, all the way halfway. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog or child's pose. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, reach the left heel up and back. Exhale, step it forward, take your time. Inhale, find the lunge. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, reach and stretch, come all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana, lift the chest, lift the fingertips. Exhale, release the arms. Good, and then let's find Tadasana now. So first, as we've been doing, take the gaze to the horizon, soften the eyes, receive the periphery, receive your surroundings. And then if you like, close your eyes and feel and experience how your posture, how this samastitihi, same pose, same stance, is what that means. How does it contribute to having a feeling of dignity, stability, ease? And then go ahead and let your eyes open. We'll do now a couple of standing poses. So shift your weight into the right foot, bring your left knee out, and then we're going to turn the leg out. And voila, we're basically now in tree pose. So you can grab hold of the ankle and put the thigh wherever it makes sense to put it. That could be, or put the foot wherever it makes sense. That could be the thigh, the calf, it could be toes on the floor. It could be that standing next to a wall makes a lot of sense. And then from here, we're going to draw everything in towards the middle, in towards the midline. Feel your body engage, feel yourself get strong and tall. And then from that, fingertips might lift if you want them to. If you're steady and comfortable, take your gaze to the horizon, just as we've been doing on 2 feet, and see if you can soften the gaze. Take it all in. Okay. Bring the knee out front, grab hold, draw it in towards the chest any amount, relax the shoulders, and then let's make circles with the ankle. Change the direction. And then nice and simple, same thing. Turn the thigh out, cross the ankle over the knee, send the hips back into a squat. You can have your hands wherever you like, to prayer, to the lower leg, or maybe all the way to the floor. See if you can really find that squat. So spreading the sit bones, bending the knee, bending the hips. Okay, nice. Press into the foot, come up, bring the knee back up. And then we're going to do, just for a moment, this sort of modified dancer pose. So grabbing hold of your foot or ankle, and then dropping the thighs so that they're heading towards parallel. And then I'm going to show you where I'm going. Some of you might go deeper or less, but what I'm really wanting here is to get a little bit of a back bend. So I'm going to push my foot into the hand, and from that, lift the chest up. I'm less concerned about getting this huge back bend as I am about feeling let me say, I'm less concerned about getting a big balance pose as I am about getting the lift of the chest. You can drop the sit bones, keep pushing the foot into the hand. If you like, stretch the right fingertips up. And if it just feels like you got to do it, you got to tip, by all means, go for it. Yeah. Nice. All right. Let's bring the knee back out front. You could be here with the leg bent, or inhale, straighten the leg, inhale, exhale, down it comes. Okay, let's do the other side. So if you need to shake it out or anything, we'll do hip circles after this second side. So again, notice, how does that feel? Turn the thigh out, come into your tree pose, whatever variation feels good. And then I like this. I say it every class, but feel your periphery come in towards the center and just feel yourself get strong and long. From that solid base, stretch the arms up. From here, depending on how balanced or not you feel today, if you're steady, take the gaze to the horizon and then widen it, soften it, broaden it. Take everything in. Really, really nice. So we'll bring the knee back to center, in towards the chest, any amount, and then circles with the ankle. Change the direction of your circles. Yep, and then turn the leg out. Cross the ankle over the knee. Send the hips back into this figure 4 stretch. Having the hands wherever you like, prayer, lower leg, fingertips towards the floor is another variation. Okay. That's it. That's the way. Take your time as you come back up. And then slide your hand down the shin until you have the ankle or the foot. And the knee is going to want to pop out. So see about drawing it in, not so that it looks any particular way, but just to deepen the stretch. And then the left fingertips can come up. Push the foot into the hand to give you that base in which to rebound with the chest lifting. Any amount, any amount, any amount. So you go wherever it feels like is a happy place for you. That might be just going for it. It might be staying upright and focusing on this chest lift, which is what I'm doing. Yes. All right. When you've had about enough, which is probably any moment, release the foot with the knee either bent or straight. Be here. If you're straightening the leg, inhale, exhale, down you go. Okay, now let's step the feet a little wider than hip distance, toes out, heels in, hands to hips. We'll make hip circles. And then change the direction. Okay. And then come on back to center. So top of the mat, center. You can center yourself in Tadasana. We're going to come through a sun salutation to get to our standing poses. So pause for a moment here. Notice how you're feeling. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands together at the center of the heart. Take a little bit of a bow, little devotion, little gratitude. Inhale, reach and stretch the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bow all the way down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, make your way to plank. Hop, jump, skip, walk, however you like. There's an option for a vinyasa. Totally leave it out. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take one deep breath. All right. And then inhale, reach the right leg up and back. Exhale, step it forward. We're coming into the warrior two stance. Whoops. But let's start with straight legs and hands to hips. So your hips are pointed towards, more or less towards the long end of the mat. And then I'm just going to point out, and you could play around with this, that the front leg, the right leg is turned out. We have the rotation there at the hip. And then likewise, the back leg is turned in. I'm keeping my knee bent. I have an ankle thing, so I'm not straightening. But we're all going to bend in a moment anyway, so it doesn't matter. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, bend the right knee over the little toe side of the foot. Okay, and then now just notice how you're feeling. Notice your legs, notice your spine. You could even sort of take a sense of your whole body. How is it? How supported and steady do you feel? And then what I'd like for you to do is to really intentionally roll the right thigh out. So you're not going to move much, but you're going to feel everything engaged, glute engaged, inner thigh engaged. So this thigh, it's isometrically turning out, 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 out. The toe is probably going to turn more towards the little toe side of the foot. This will probably pitch your pelvis forward a bit. So we're going to counter that by rolling the back thigh in. And then you might find your pelvis comes back in space so that you're more upright. Keep this engagement. Take your gaze over the right middle finger and then keep it going all the way to the horizon. Like if there was an ocean or the sea, you would be looking at the curvature of the earth. Take it all in. Notice how it feels to have these muscles really active and engaged. So the front leg turning out, back leg turning in, makes the pose, for me, significantly more difficult, but also much steadier, much stronger, much more sort of crisp, clean, not hanging out in any joints. Take a couple more very deep breaths into your belly. Let it out slowly. Turn the right palm up. Keep your legs. Reverse the warrior. Reach and stretch. First fingertips up towards the ceiling. They might go a little further back. Inhale completely. Exhale, let your pelvis roll forward. Come into side angle pose. If you have a block nearby, I didn't tell you to, mine are far away, so I'm not going to go get them. You could put the fingertips on the block. And then the left arm, fingertips straight up. Turn the palm in the direction of your head. Reach the fingertips away from the outer edge of your back foot. Now then, as we move, if you're like most human beings, that technique and skill that we learned with the rotation of the hips, front and back, has probably gotten lost in transition. So again, re-engage. Feel it's a subtle movement, but the thigh and the front externally rotates. The knee is probably going to be more solidly over the little toe side of the foot. And the back leg subtly internally rotates. You might get really long now on the left side of the body. Take a couple of breaths. Extend your exhalation. Press into the feet. Inhale, find warrior two. Exhale, be right here. That's the way. Inhale, straighten the legs. Whew. Exhale, release the arms. Okay, a lot of work, I know. Much harder when done with this technique, but I think it's well worth it. Okay, let's turn and do the other side. We will do triangle and standing balance. Yeah, I have to keep an eye on the time. I haven't been good with that so much lately. I really need more time for yoga classes. They used to always be 90 minutes, not so much anymore. Okay, inhale, lift the arms, left toes are forward. Second side. Exhale, bend your left knee over the little toe side of the foot. First of all, establish your gaze. Establish your dignified, upright, relaxed posture. Feel your body. And then let's try this. Externally rotate even more. It's already externally rotated, but we're putting the muscular engagement behind it to support the action in the left leg. Feel how maybe your pelvis tips forward a little bit, which actually is not what we want. We don't want to be pitched forward in space. So then we're going to internally rotate a bit. The back leg brings us back level. It's such a small movement. It's such a small movement. But you might notice now your spine feels nice and vertical, really supported by your legs. So strong are your legs. So powerful. Keep your gaze. Look at the curvature of the earth all the way out. That's it. Turn the left palm up. Reverse the warrior. Keep the legs. Stretch the fingertips up, up, up. And then we're going to rotate the pelvis all the way over the heads of the femur bones until you get to Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. And then the fingertips, right fingertips straight up towards the ceiling. Turn the palm towards your head. And then reach the fingertips away from the outer edge of your foot. That's it. Really nice. Now, come back to the technique. Roll the left thigh out. You'll feel your glutes strongly engage. Roll the back thigh in. Feel how this strengthens and makes your pose just really solid. I know. Take 3 or so more breaths. Really focus on extending the exhalation. You are so strong. We're all so much stronger than we know, actually. As it turns out in my experience, saying that for myself, a couple more breaths. Okay. Press into the feet. Inhale back to warrior 2. Exhale, be in warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Whew. Okay, exhale, release the arms. That was a good one for my thighs. Let's turn the feet to be parallel. Actually, let's do this. Turn the toes out, heels in. And we're going to do just a little goddess. I know, thighs are already burning. So let's start just with a star pose. Give yourself a moment. Okay, and now rotate your thighs out. Ooh, knees bend. Here we go, goddess pose. You can bring your thumb and forefinger to touch. Take a couple of breaths. I won't make you be here for too long. We just did a lot. I want you to feel your pelvic floor though. Lift it up. Lift the pelvic floor. Feel your sit bones. They might spread a little bit. That's fine. We don't need to tuck here. There's no reason to tuck. Keep rolling your thighs out so the knees go towards the little toe side of the foot. Inhale, straighten the legs. Reach the fingertips. Exhale, release the arms. Let's step the feet together. Okay, if you need to shake it out, shake it out. And then, how are we doing? Okay, I do want to be able to get to a standing balance. One more. So let's just do it from the top of the mat. We're not going to need to go through sun salutation just for time's sake. So definitely let's have blocks or some support if you have it in the front of the mat. And then when you're ready, go ahead and step your left foot back. We'll come into a nice easy lunge. Doesn't have to be your deepest lunge, just nice easy lunge. Either hands to hips or to prayer, we're coming into warrior 3. So look forward, begin to shift a bit the weight over the front foot. And then you can have the hands to the blocks or take a couple of breaths with the hands up as you wish. We're all going to have our hands on the blocks or the floor in a moment. Take a breath. Okay, if your hands aren't already on the blocks, go ahead and take them there. And then like we did in down dog when we did three-legged dog, if you remember that, we're going to one more time roll the left thigh out. Open the hip. Take your time. So let me do from this side. From this kind of warrior three with the hips level, we're rolling the thigh out. So now the left hip is stacking over the right hip. And then if you're feeling steady, stretch the left fingertips up and work in Ardha Chandrasana now. Take a deep breath. Take your time, slowly, slowly. Bring the hand back to the block. Level the hips, so turn the thigh in. And then let's just step the feet together. Relax in Uttanasana. Take a couple of deep breaths. Okay. Well, we have a second side. Might as well do it. Have your blocks or whatever you're using, phone books. If only phone books were a thing, we wouldn't need props. Go ahead and step. Now you're stepping your right foot back into nice, easy lunge. You could have your arms up. It's going to make it harder. Or prayer, hips, however you like. Look forward 3 to 4 feet and begin to shift the weight over the front foot. Eventually, we'll come to warrior three, and it might look like this, It might be pretty mild, hands to blocks. Take care of yourself. That's the way. Okay, if your hands are not on blocks, take them to the blocks. Yep. And then we'll do this. Sorry, I have a dog. I don't know what he's wanting. Back there yapping. I don't know if you can hear him. So from level hips, just as we've been doing, very slowly, take your time, roll the thigh over. So externally rotate the hip is what I'm saying. The right hip then comes over the left hip. And now we're in Ardha Chandrasana half moon pose. If you choose to, you can stretch also the right fingertips towards the ceiling. And then it's probably going to feel pretty familiar. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then let's unwind that. Take your time, slowly, slowly. Hand comes down, hips level. Step the feet together. And relax a couple of breaths in Uttanasana, standing forward fold. All right. From here, bring your hands to your outer hips. Press through the feet, bend your knees if you like, stand up, come all the way up. Exhale, release the arms. Pause for a moment if you like, close your eyes. Feel your body, feel your breath. Notice the residue of that sequence of poses. How did it land for you in your body, in your mind, in your heart? If you feel like it was challenging, then just know that it was meant to be. So you're not alone in that feeling. Feel comforted that we're all pretty much in the same place. We're all just kind of doing the same thing, largely. Okay, and then go ahead and open your eyes. We need to get back to down dog, but it would be equally fine to come from all fours. So I'm going to give the option, either come through a sun salutation, go on to downward facing dog, or just step to all fours, whatever you like. They're both perfectly fine. We're going to meet kneeling. Yeah, and we're going to do pigeon pose. So the blocks and the blanket are what will be super handy for sure. Having a blanket, something to support your hips with. I'd say for most people, that's going to be non-negotiable, especially the way we're going to do it. As I have been for a few classes, we're going to do it. It's the Royal King Pigeon. It's a back bend, not the sleeping pigeon. We'll do some forward folds and calm down in just a moment. So if you know that pigeon pose does not work for your knees, then yes, you can do figure four. But before you do figure four, then have a camel pose or two where you roll your shoulders back and lift the chest up so that you get the benefit of the back bend, not just the hip stretch. So that's option if you don't want to do pigeon. If you have knee issues, do that. Those of you who are doing pigeon, we're going to bring the right foot forward. Knee is bent. And then with your left toes, I have my hands on my blocks already. They could be on the floor, just as easy, just as well. Tuck your left toes, lift the knee up, and roll the thigh in. Roll the thigh in. So we have like our standing poses so far, we have an externally rotated front leg and an internally rotated back leg, if you want to get nerdy and know that. And then under your right hip, please support yourself so there's no gap. Your hips are very much supported by something, not hanging out in the air. And then have your hands on your blocks or on the floor. And then as you root through your shin and your back leg, peel your chest open. So you can find a back bend here. Lift the pelvic floor, roll the shoulders back. Feel your shoulder blades deeply in your upper back, maybe even look up. So in Sanskrit, rajakapotasana is the name of the pose. Raja means royal, means sometimes it's translated as king, but also royalty. So feel that sense of royalty, like you're the queen here, or the king, or the non-gendered person in charge. Take a couple of breaths. Last inhalation. All right, and then let it go. Slide the blocks out, and then either back to down dog, even a vinyasa if you wanted it, or just go to all fours and switch your hips to the other side. I'm sorry, switch your props, your whatever was supporting your hip. All right, and then when you're ready, we'll bring the left leg into pigeon pose. So coming forward, swinging it forward if you're in down dog, or just stepping it forward from all fours. Support your hips or your hip, probably only one needs it. I like sometimes to support both hips, feels really good, but we're not doing that today. And then tuck your right toes, lift the knee up, and really deliberately internally rotate that right, that's be your right thigh. Yeah. Good. And then you can lift up by pressing the shins down, even a little bit, both shins, and lifting up the pelvic floor. Roll the shoulders back. Feel your shoulder blades as they draw into the upper ribs. Keep lifting the pelvic floor. You might even lift up off your blanket or support a little bit. Drop the flesh of the buttocks and then roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Maybe even look up, but really straight ahead, I think is the dignified way to have your gaze. Take in the periphery. It's your kingdom, your realm, your world. Take it all in. You're in charge. Last deep breath. Nice. And then exhale. Whew. Down we go. Release the blocks. I don't think we're going to do anything else that's too terribly hard, I hope. Go ahead, step back to Shavasana. I'm sorry, step back to downward facing dog. If you're ready to step back to Shavasana, go for it. Some people say Shavasana is the hardest pose, but I'm sorry, I have to disagree. It's never been the hardest pose for me, that's for sure. All right, if you're not in child's pose, please come to child's pose and take a couple of breaths. And then we're going to roll directly over onto our backs. And please come into constructive rest. So feet wide, mat distance. Feet wide, knees together. My feet, I can feel the edge of the sticky mat under the balls of my feet. You can have your arms out to a T if you like. Take just a moment here in constructive rest. Feel your body. We're going to let go of the intellectual thinking side of class and just feel your body, feel your breath. And then as you're ready, let's windshield wiper the knees so they'll drop to one side. And to the other side, breathe deeply. If you want to synchronize your breath with the movement, then inhale, bring the knees to center. Exhale, take them over to one side. Okay. The next time that your knees are over to your left, stay. You can be right here, or you could place your left ankle over your right knee. We will go to a deeper twist in just a moment. Last breath. Unhook the knee if you have it, and then take your time. Make the knees, make your way over so that your knees are on the right side. If you like, the right ankle can come over the left knee. It's not everybody's best thing, so just notice if you like it or not. All right, and then go ahead and release that. Come back to center. Take your hips so that they're shifted off to the right a couple of inches, and then bring your knees in towards your chest over to your left into a deep spinal twist. Okay. Take your time as you bring the knees back up to center. Level your hips. And then we're going to shift them this time a couple of inches off to the left, so they're off center, and knees towards the chest, any amount to the right. You can look over your left shoulder if that's comfortable. Okay, and then please bring your knees back to center. You can hug them in towards your chest or make little circles with your knees. Anything that feels good, please feel free to do. Some people love to close with happy baby, so that is certainly an option. Yeah, and then whenever you're ready, take your time. We're gonna come into Shavasana. So you'll have your legs apart, arms apart. You could support your knees with the blanket that you grabbed or under your head. You could place it, make sure you're warm. Make sure you're completely comfortable. Allow the front of your body to release towards the back of your body and the back of your body to release onto your support. Allow the front of your brain to release towards the center of your brain. Shavasana.
swaha. Tat savitur regniyam. Bargo devasya dhimahi. Diyo yona prachodayat. As you're ready, go ahead and make any movements that would feel good. Fingers and toes could wiggle, or wrists, ankles rotate. Maybe stretch your arms overhead and give yourself a brand new good morning stretch, 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 stretch. And then when you're ready, please bend the knees one at a time. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. If you can, keep your eyes nice and soft, or even closed for another moment or so. Come on up to seated. If it feels good, if you like the gesture, then you can fold your hands together at the center of the heart in Anjali Mudra, a gesture of devotion, gratitude. And then one last time together, take a moment, scan through your body, notice how you're feeling. What is the residue of your practice? What have you cultivated? And if you have cultivated some new sense of well-being for yourself, maybe ease, relaxation, or a new sense of dignity or strength, whatever it is, allow that sense of well-being to seep into every cell of your body. Be with it. And then as you inhale, lift the chest into the thumbs. As you exhale, surrender the head to the heart. Inhale, lift the chin, release the palms, and allow the eyes to open. Okay, thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate it. And I just want to let you know, if you're in the Bay Area, then in 2 weekends, I'm doing bhakti yoga, so chanting. If you want to learn more about chanting, I'm doing that in El Cerrito. And then the week after that, breath work, conscious connected breath work, which is sort of a short version of holotropic, or kind of like a Wim Hof breath. So a very powerful, sort of transformational, not pranayama. So you will leave relaxed, but it's not the relaxing kind. Okay, well, I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Nice to meet y'all.
You too.